All right, good morning. It's a special retail edition of Panic. And I should keep my voice down because my kids are still asleep and I'm in my house. But actually, it's kind of a big house. So, felt compelled to do this. A lot of panicking going on out there about retail in general and the Christmas creep and the idea that there's some sign of desperation because the retailer's coming out. Best Buy became the latest today to say, you know what? Christmas starts right now. We said so. And a lot of the spin of the pieces is to the effect of this must be a sign of desperation from the retailers. It must be a sign of margin pressure. The XRT, which is the retail trading index, annihilated for the last few weeks, largely on this premise. I got news for you on Black Friday. It's a made-up thing, okay? I know it's all in our collective mind that Black Friday, the Friday after Thanksgiving, was when the Christmas selling season starts. I was there when that was made up because my dad was part of the generation of retailers who made it up. It's crap. It's not actually a true thing. The biggest day of the shopping year for 91 of the last 100 years has been the Saturday before Christmas, and that falls on the 19th this year. It'll be easily the biggest day again this year. It's just is. It's the Saturday before Christmas. The Sunday before Christmas, people go to church in disproportionate numbers. The Saturday before Christmas is when the retailers are positioned to end their holiday season. And let me tell you a story. I used to go shopping every Christmas with my dad. On Christmas Eve, we'd go to Dayton's department stores then, and we'd look for Santa bears, among other things. And we would go there, and my dad had this dream for Christmas. And the dream for every retailer is that as you're shutting the doors on Christmas Eve, as the season is over, the last little kid picks the last wanted stuffed animal off the shelf, takes it up to the last person working in the store, gets it rung up, and the store is empty. No markdowns. You sold everything. Every customer has been sated in their quest for the perfect gift. The store has no inventory. God is in his heaven and all is right in the world. You work backwards from that. You need that to happen on Christmas Eve. That means dwindling inventory going into Christmas. This stuff about Black Friday being a big deal is like Alibaba Singles Day. It's like Amazon Prime Day last summer. It's a made-up deal. Again, the biggest shopping day by revenue, by items sold, by any conceivable measure is the Saturday before Christmas. It will be again this year. It always is. Settle down about retail. The Gap warned last night, but they're always terrible. The Gap is a pit. And in terms of retailers promoting, what you really need to be worrying about is not necessarily that the promotional activity is too high, but that in the case like the Gap, or you saw it at Joseph A. Banks, that the inventory is out of control. When the Gap runs this section of the store is 60% off sale and it's just a bin of crap, it says two things. One, holy crap, are they terrible at buying merchandise? And two, I bet you this store is out of control on their inventory. And you can't get long stocks doing that. But in terms of rational markdowns and to have, dwindling margins, well, welcome to the internet. It's the day of perfect digital information. Remember showrooming from 2013? That was the thing. People would complain, oh my God, the customers are coming into the store with their smartphones, they're showrooming. Stupidest controversy ever. It's retail. Never ever forget. Online, offline, in the store, out of a box, or just hustling drugs like some rapper. It's retail. You're meeting demands of a customer. Everything else is just noise. So that's what you just have to know about retail right now. Everything's fine. The good retailers are winning. The bad retailers are not. No one ever pays regular price anymore. What the Gap has fallen into is the pit of markdown despair. And the problem is twofold. One, just the practical matter of once you get customers addicted to 50% off sales, they stop showing up for anything else. And two, and this is much more of a reputational and a long-term concern, when you turn the spigot off and you've been doing 50% off sales for months and months and months, and then you offer your customers 25% off, they feel screwed. They feel absolutely enraged at you for giving them a deal. It's just Psych 101, and that's kind of the trap the Gap's fallen into. Jones New York, a lot of them. Coach, It diminishes your brand. It makes things just a nightmare. That's why it's kind of retailers that are just trying to hit their pennies or trying to hit the model that they gave analysts, do excessive markdowns to get rid of their inventories. Smart ones just miss the quarter and clear the decks. So that's your Retail 101 for this morning. Where did I work in retail when I was young? I was retail consulting. I worked for Sendelaney. We went from retailer to retailer. I actually had my first post-college job at Macy's, where I ran men's suits and shoes. And let me tell you something, my friends. There's very little in this world that is more humbling than putting shoes on other men's feet, which you actually had to do in 1991. It was disgusting and appalling, and you learn more about how to manage and how to run a little shop than any other business. It's total Al Bundy. And the customers were just brutal. Seriously, be nice to the people who work in retail stores, because those jobs are really hard. Really, really hard. But I wouldn't change the experience. But then in consulting, I went to Kmart. I went to Sears. I worked on Sears trying to teach them customer service. Kmart trying to teach them customer service. You know what Sam Walton's guide for customer service was? Look them in the eye and smile. Kmart had a phone book. Honest to God, it was 1,500 pages if it was one page long. Just about how you should interact with customers. And the people that worked at Kmart, no disrespect, kind of, 17-year-old burnout types who smelled suspiciously of skunk when they would come back from lunch breaks. And so really the only thing you could teach them, Kmart used to have these huge posters in the back that were 12 feet high in their break room. They had, a 12-foot rule. And if any customers came within that 12-foot circumference, a Kmart associate was to address them and help them. The only thing you could teach the worker base at Kmart was the exact distance of 12 feet on a proximal basis. They were uncanny. Every single one of the associates there was like Rain Man when it came to measuring 12 feet, because they would not come within 12 feet of a customer if you put them a taser up to the back of their spine and said, there's the 12-foot radius. They would say, nope, I'm 12 feet, 6 inches away from that customer. Clearly, I'm not required to help him. I know my job, God damn it, you can't fire me. It's really hard to work retail, is what I'm saying, and it's really hard to affect change, and customers tend to be just brutal. So it's that's how it works. So that's how we know about retail. And really, I used to go shopping with my dad all the time. I've written about it. You can look up on my Tumblr page. He was a Target exec, so we would go from Target to Target. And I do the same thing to my kids. I can learn more from a Target in 20 minutes than I can from reading reams of material. It's like seeing The Matrix once you know marketing. Thoughts on Walmart? The stores are dirty and the online experience still kind of sucks. Walmart is spending $20 billion on a buyback, $1 billion on capex this year. That should be reversed. And until then, it's going to be a problem. Lowe's has a 10-foot rule. How's that working for Lowe's? Exactly. You don't have a rule on distance. And it's customer service is just be polite. Be polite to customers. Meet the expectations and then a little more. Series 7 test. I didn't study for it, just get a 70. Educate. That's what we are doing. We're talking. We're visiting. And I believe it's pronounced edumacate. All right, folks. I got to go to work. Got to wake up my kids. Got to do some trades. Try to make some money. Avoid Macy's. Ahead of earnings, the stock is trading like hurtling death, and I'm not sure you want to be involved with that. Series 79, I had money on the Pirates. So it was a big deal. It was one of my first bets. We'll talk about that another time.